9 out of 10 drivers think they are cleaning their car properly. They grab a sponge, a bucket, maybe a random cleaner, and they start scrubbing. It feels productive, but here is the truth. That routine is slowly destroying your paint, fading your interior, and cutting real value off your car every single time you wash it. Most people never notice until the damage is already done. What I'm about to show you is a simple method professional detailers quietly use that changes everything. It does not require expensive tools or hours of work, but once you see it, you will never wash your car the same way again. Stay with me, because each step builds on the last, and the final result is the difference between a car that looks used and one that looks brand new. Let us start with the biggest mistake almost everyone makes. You walk up to a dirty car and immediately start scrubbing the surface. That feels logical, but here is the problem. That dirt is not just dust. It is abrasive particles like sand and road grit. When you drag that across your paint, you are not cleaning. You are sanding your car without realizing it. The result is subtle at first. Small swirl marks, light scratches, and a dull finish that no longer reflects light properly. Over time, that turns into faded paint and expensive correction work. Now here is the shift professionals make. They do not start by touching the paint. They remove as much dirt as possible without contact first, and that changes everything. Instead of grabbing a sponge, you begin with a thorough rinse. Not a quick splash, but a slow, methodical rinse from top to bottom. The goal is simple. Let water carry away as much contamination as possible before your hand ever touches the surface. Water reduces friction, loosens particles, and prepares the paint for safe contact. But even here, most people rush and lose the benefit. They think water alone does nothing, yet it is doing the most important preparation work. This one change already puts you ahead of most drivers. But now comes the part almost nobody uses correctly, and this is where the real transformation begins. The two-bucket method sounds simple, but it solves a hidden problem. One bucket holds clean, soapy water. The other is for rinsing your wash mitt. Every time you wipe your car, your mitt collects dirt. If you return it to the soap bucket, you contaminate everything and spread particles across your paint. That is how swirl marks are created. The second bucket breaks that cycle. You wash a section, rinse the mitt in clean water to release dirt, and only then return to the soap bucket. This keeps your cleaning solution clean and your paint protected, and it is one of the biggest differences between amateur and professional results. Now, the tools you use matter more than you think. Most people use sponges, but sponges trap dirt and drag it across the surface. Professionals use microfiber mitts because they pull dirt away into the fibers, reducing direct contact with the paint. Less friction means less damage and a cleaner finish. At this point, you have already eliminated the biggest sources of paint damage. But there is another mistake that ruins the final look: drying. Many people let the car air dry or use random towels, which creates water spots and streaks that etch into the paint over time.
The fix is simple. Use a clean microfiber drying towel and gently blot or glide across the surface with no pressure. Always dry from top to bottom, just like washing. This prevents dragging dirt onto clean areas and keeps the finish smooth and clear. Now comes the part that makes the biggest visual difference: protection. Most drivers skip it completely. They wash the car, see that it looks clean, and stop. But clean paint without protection quickly loses shine and attracts dirt again. A simple spray wax or sealant adds gloss, deepens color, and creates a slick surface that repels water and grime. It also makes future washes easier and safer. You are not just cleaning anymore. You are preserving and enhancing the surface every time. But wait, because even if you follow everything so far, there is a hidden layer of contamination most drivers never remove. This is where your car still looks slightly dull even after a perfect wash. That is because some dirt does not sit on top of the paint. It bonds to it. Things like brake dust, industrial fallout, and road film embed into the clear coat. Washing alone cannot remove them. This is why detailers use a clay bar treatment, and this step is where the real transformation happens. A clay bar gently pulls out embedded contaminants that you cannot even see. When you glide it across the surface, you can actually feel the difference. Rough becomes smooth, dull becomes reflective. It's one of those moments where you instantly understand what your car was missing.
And here is what most people never realize. If you skip this step, every product you apply after is less effective. Wax does not bond properly. Shine looks weaker. Protection does not last as long. That means more work and worse results. Now imagine combining this with everything you have learned so far. A clean surface, properly washed, safely dried, and now fully decontaminated. This is the foundation professionals build on, and this is where your car starts to look like it just came out of a showroom. But there is another overlooked mistake that silently ruins interiors. Most drivers either ignore the inside or use harsh cleaners that strip and dry surfaces. Over time, dashboards fade, plastics crack, and everything starts to look worn. The simple fix is balance. Use gentle cleaners and follow with light conditioning. Interior materials need moisture, just like exterior paint needs protection. When you restore that balance, colors deepen, surfaces regain life, and the entire car feels newer. And here is something that surprises most people. A clean interior changes how you feel about your car more than anything else. It is where you spend your time. When it looks fresh and smells clean, the entire driving experience improves instantly. Now, let us connect everything together, because this is where the real power is. Each step alone helps, but together they create a system. You rinse to remove risk. You wash correctly to avoid damage. You dry safely to prevent marks. You decontaminate to restore smoothness. You protect to lock in results. Most drivers do random pieces of this and wonder why their car never looks quite right. Professionals follow the full sequence, and that is why their results look effortless.
And here is the final shift in thinking that changes everything. Stop treating car cleaning as a chore and start treating it as preservation. Every correct step protects value, saves money, and keeps your car looking newer for longer. Because once your paint is damaged, fixing it is expensive. Once interiors crack, they rarely recover. But preventing that damage is simple when you know what to do. Now, imagine your car months from now, still glossy, still smooth, still turning heads. Not because you spent a fortune, but because you followed a smarter method that most people ignore. That is the real secret detailers do not talk about. It is not one trick. It is a system hidden in plain sight. Use it once and you will see the difference immediately. Use it consistently and your car will never fall back into that dull, worn look again. And the next time you see someone aggressively scrubbing a dirty car with a single bucket, you will recognize exactly what is happening. Not cleaning, but damage in progress. You now know how to avoid that completely, and that knowledge alone can save your paint, your time, and your money. Use it every time, and your car will keep looking like new long after everyone else's has already faded.